السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير، غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. حسبنا الله لا إله إلا أنت، عليك توكلنا وأنت رب العرش العظيم. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. Inshallah, we are going to start a new, fresh Asr, very fresh, revealed. Now, just now, for us, yeah, that is our general approach. And it's interesting, the first one says, well, Asr. That's it. That's the verse. That's a sentence. The Quran is very strange. One word is a sentence. Okay. What does it mean? We know that grammatically, what is this swearing? God says, hey, I swear by Asr. We don't know what Asr means yet. I swear by Asr. What does it mean? God swearing means, but, well, we human beings say, wallahi. Yeah, I take Allah as my witness. Yeah, isn't that true? It means what I am saying, what I am claiming is, or I'm sure God will witness its truthfulness. It means God will approve it. Yeah, it is in the knowledge of God is not contradictory, but that's what we say when we say wallahi, tallahi, whatever. Yeah, billahi, everything actually, almost wallahi, tallahi, grammatically, but also billahi the same. But grammatically, it's not swearing word. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay. When God says, I bear witness, or whatever I am saying is approved by the Asr. What does it mean? So God is saying, well, this is my witness, but it's easy, isn't it? It's not difficult to understand. Why? Why it is easy? If you have a right method of understanding the Quran, it is very easy, because by definition, Quran is the speech of the Creator, and Creator speaks to whom? To me, and he is expected to speak to me according to my capacity and my responsibility, right? For example, let's say your boss asks you to do something. Does it ask you to do something which is far beyond your capacity? No. Doesn't, yes or no? Does it ask you? No, it will be an irrational boss. So he will ask you within your something to do within your capacity and with the language you understand. Yeah, let's say you are working for a company run by Chinese, which will be the next century's, I think, lifestyle, and the boss is speaking to you in Chinese and asking you to do something which the language of Chinese you don't know. Do you think he's a wise boss or no? It's obvious, isn't it? So we expect that my Creator is speaking to me according to two things. With the language that I can understand, human beings can understand, because I'm international. So We cannot really. So we will use one language, but you can understand it in various ways because it's a human language. Yeah, spoken by someone, not because Arabic is a very exceptional language. As when I was very young and during my college days, there was an Arab brother. I think it was a brother. Yeah, he said, Arabic is God's language. God speaks in Arabic. So Arabic is a chosen language, and it is developed by God. Okay. How about other languages? Who created them? So Arabic is an appropriate language maybe of the time of revelation, according to the conditions of the time of revelation. Okay, it is an appropriate language, okay, but it doesn't mean that all the sacred revelations will be in Arabic. No. For example, God spoke to Jesus in Aramaic. Aramaic is a competitor of Arabic language or what? It's like ridiculous, isn't it? So he will speak to an human language so that we can understand. If I don't understand, somebody will teach me that language and I will understand eventually. And one point, he will speak in a way that human beings can understand. The second is within his human capacity, according to the capacity of the responsibility of the man, human beings. So I will listen to the Quran. This is the definition. We, from time to time, quite frequently, remind each other, look, we have to read the Quran from our perspective, not from God's perspective. Can you imagine God will be speaking from his perspective and I will be responsible to understand it? He is absolute. It is impossible. Yeah? So I will always say that, yes, God is speaking to me. It's important, but it doesn't mean that he is speaking to me within his capacity as an absolute being. His capacity is absolute, infinite. So he will speak within my capacity and tell me what my responsibility is. So when I read the Quran, I will say, well, Asri, and the translation, the constant in the flight of time, that's the translation, or similar translations, not that important. We have to understand the concept. Yeah, I bear witness. What I am going to tell you, or what I am telling you, under the witnessing that I take testimony, under the witnessing of Asr, or there are other verses using different contexts. Some of them says, I take the sun as my, or earth, or the heavens, or the moon. These are my witness that what I am telling is true. A simple-minded man who has a bad, negative agenda to criticize Islam says, how God calls to his truthfulness what he's saying a moon or Asr here. We have not studied what Asr is here. Well, Asr here is God, Okay, human beings ask for witness of God. But God asks the moon, or I don't know, maybe the sun, olive, it's so ridiculous, olives and fig. These are my witness. that what I'm telling is true. Does it make sense to you now? Because for me, what I find in the Quran, in the speech of God, is true or not according to the witnessing of the olive or fig or the moon or asr. Do you understand? It means human responsibility is what I see in the Quran. Let me see, let me check its truthfulness. It is truthfulness under the witnessing of the olive. Olive will say to me, what you are reading or hearing is true. I am witness to it. Do you understand? It's very simple. Did you get? You look a bit puzzled. Did you get it? If you didn't, it doesn't mean that you are backward in mind. No. You may be new to this kind of approach, to this class. Maybe, I don't know. I don't remember seeing you in the class. Is it the first time? Yeah, that's why don't be shy. Challenge me, criticize me. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, come and beat me up. I don't mind. Only understand what is told here. That's the point. No, I have no honor apart from the honor of the Quran. It's the Quran. It belongs to the Quran, not to me. So we usually say that the swearings, God is swearing by something. Yeah, or none, as this sentence says, or the translation said, consider. It means consider, or I bear witness by. Yeah, this kind of translations, doesn't matter. Yeah, consider the flight of them. What does it mean? Consider let's make it simple, consider the fig or olive, one olive. Yeah, what I'm saying is true. Study the olive. Investigate what qualities are included in the existence of olive. Which kind of qualities? Study it. Investigate it. Be a specialist of olive, and you will understand what is the main message of the Quran is true. Must be true, confirmable, understandable. Why? Because if you like, I asked the olive whether this statement is true or not. He said, yes, it is true. Get it? Oh, that is the witnessing of the creation about the truthfulness of a message which is coming from an palpable, physical, that I can go and speak. Words claim, or the word that it is somewhere not from the universe. Is there any other way at all to understand and confirm a statement which claims to be coming from somewhere not within the universe? Isn't that very strange? Not within the universe. And something says, I'm not within the universe. Isn't that very strange for a human being to confirm that, yeah, it is possible? It is not possible at all if only this statement is confirmed by an element within the universe that I can examine. Do you understand? This is why in the speech of God, swearing or taking witness to its truthfulness must be in the form of a physical being, so that I can experience it, and under the witnessing of that area where I am experiencing it, I understand that this statement can only be possible by someone who holds the whole universe under his will, under his control, under his domain. So one olive is enough of a witness to the truthfulness of the content of the speech of God, which is, we are studying Quran. Could have been anything else, speech of God. So if you want to make sure that any text claims to be a holy scripture, it means presented or produced by a one who created the universe, which is beyond the physical form of the universe. Yeah, you can check, is it true or not? How can you change? But some people may say, oh, how are you going to check God's word? It is right or wrong. Yeah, look at the sentence. Look at the sentence. God is speaking. You are trying to say what he's saying is true or not. Who are you? That's the general attitude. But what was wrong in this sentence? Who will point it out? There was a very small word in it, which is very wrong.
Can you repeat the sentence?
Okay, I made a big, grave mistake, but hidden. I told you there is something wrong. How are you going to challenge God's word since your capacity, your knowledge is just a very narrow one? You know nothing, really. Really, human beings know almost nothing. A little bit revealed, a little bit, given knowledge. So you come up with your own reasoning to challenge God's word. Okay? There is a cynic word here, pushed in, which doesn't make sense at all. At all. Come on, one of what? No. But according to me, no. Okay.
Is it reasoning?
Reasoning? No. Sorry?
No, you.
She's so clever.
When you said you.
Are you from Egypt? Yeah. God. Why? Why?
Because it contains the assumption that you already believe it.
How do you? So you cannot confirm that this statement is God's word before confirming the truthfulness of the word under the witnessing of the word that you experience. So some people speak in this way, when they speak in they think that they stated a very powerful argument that human beings should not their reasoning and imitate the Quran. This isn't it. Got it? Anybody? Got it? So it is extremely important not to swallow any sentence or any statement which includes God verses from the Quran doesn't necessarily mean that that's true because he said God. He said a verse from the Quran. Not at all. They may misunderstand it, misuse it, and to me, abuse his or her own claim that to be the true or to abuse the Quran by exploiting it in order to make his statement to be true. Especially when it comes to reasoning, questioning, challenging the text which claims that it is the word of God. How dare. When it comes to Torah, the same man has the same attitude when you ask, how about Torah? It claims to be God's word as well. How do you challenge and dare say that it is corrupted? Huh? How do you? It's God's word. How can you challenge it? So it says, but when you examine with what? You understand it's corrupted. Are you examining with what? Your own reasoning. Yeah, comparing what the Quranic message brings to you, what Torah, some parts, not all, brings to you, comparing it with what? Comparing it with what? Your reasoning. You compare it, say, this is right, wrong. You made it, yeah, with your reasoning. So when it comes to speak about Torah, go further, beyond the window. Come back, man, here, front. Okay. So when you say that Torah is corrupt, because when you study it, you understand that it is corrupt. Yeah, reasoning. When it comes to the Quran, don't use your reasoning. Who are you? Your very, very limited reasoning. You study the Quran and question the Quran whether it can really be the word of God. Who are you? That is logical inconsistency, the kind word, but stupid to me. Okay, so we have to be constant, or we have to have a confidence. How are we going to read the text which claims to be the word of God? Now, when it says, forget about the meaning of asr, we use the olive, watin. So when it says watin, it means the text or the speaker is asking me, hey, go to the lab, examine the olive, how it exists. How? Not why. No. How? Why comes at the very end. If you don't know how the olive came into existence, you say why? Why? Oh, it exists by itself. There is no why. The materialists will be very comfortable. When you ask them, what? You cannot give the answer to the question why. But you say that, oh, I had a very strong base for my argument. Materialists laugh at you, say, stupid. Why? I don't mind. I love it. I found the olive here and it exists. That's it. Without examining how can an olive come into existence, how can you ask the question why? Eh? But it is there. That's it. That's what I want. Materialist disclaimer. We found the universe as it is, and it seems to be eternal. Well, some people say it has a beginning. Well, it happened by itself. That's it. If you examine how an olive came into existence, you will understand that the knowledge, the power must be, and the will must be absolute in order to give existence to one olive. Study biology, study chemistry, and study environmental sciences, whatever they are, and you will understand that if someone doesn't really, a source, not someone, something doesn't really have a knowledge, comprehends the universe, if it is a beginning, from the beginning to the end. If it is a beginning, it must have an end. Everybody knows it physically. Yeah? To the end. For example, it is also important. Do we know the future? Yes. How? But there's a very powerful Quranic argument, actually, not here, but how? Anything has a beginning, must have an end. Yeah? For example, can you say a figure which represents infinite, which has a beginning? Mathematicians. Infinite, is the infinite, has a beginning.
No.
If something has a beginning, cannot be infinite. If something is not infinite, must have an end, sooner or later. That's very logical, very human. So that's why Quran always brings evidence that is out of our present context, by the way, present subject. But it is very important that I couldn't stop myself. Quran always brings evidence from what has happened before in order to give the human beings to reason what will happen in the future. Because human beings cannot examine the future, but we can examine the present time, what we have here, and to follow the traces. So, for example, when the argument is raised by human reasoning, normal human reasoning, how can we be resurrected? Yeah, resurrection. After death, we will be given life back again into another type of creation. That's called resurrection. Another type of creation. Not exactly the same, another type of creation according to my expectations. Why? According to my expectations, according to my wishes. They say, some people say, some philosophers say that believing God is just a wishful. Humans wish that. They don't question. They are so simple-minded. They don't question, where did you get this wish? This is the fruit. I'm sorry. Very, very, very primitive mind, man. Really primitive. So because of your childhood impressions from that or effects, childhood effect, everyone, 6 billion people in this age, effect, same, they have the same childhood effect. Father figure, God. There's God. The concept of God occurs as a development of father figure, because for the child, God is father is a kind of God. So when he grows up, he understands that the father is not a God. So he develops from there must be a God. Because of the childish experience. Yeah, 6 billion. If a person doesn't have a father, where did he get it? So simple. Now, in some simple Some people deny it. Why do they deny it? Why do they need to deny it? Huh? What? Where did you get this idea of denying or confirming? Even as a child, where did you get the idea of father figure? They understand and develop this understanding. Where did you get this capacity to have a figure and say so that you will develop it into a God? How do you develop it? Where did you get this capacity to develop it? Even where did you get it? In the matter? Does it have this kind of capacity in the matter? So simple. Anyways, that is out of the subject today. So Quran says, who will create me? The question is this, who would resurrect me? The answer is, hey, you have to go back. Who gave you existence in this world at the first place? Do you exist now? Yeah, where did you get existence from? Yeah. So the one who gave you existence must fulfill the promise of what he has put within your human capacity to hope for an eternal happiness. Who gave you existence with the capacity to will, to want, to wish that external happiness must exist. So this one who is the creator of this expectation must be able to do that. Because you study your own creation, you will understand that your existence needs an absolute source to realize it. An absolute source cannot have beginning, neither does he have, can it have end. So if he's absolute, he's always absolute. And absolute power can do everything. Look, he made you yourself. Think about yourself as your body, as your human side. Think about it. We understand that future is confirmed by human beings by examining the present time as you experience the creation. Very simple, but very important methodology. If you are speaking or to somebody or really thinking by yourself, can I really believe that after I die, I will be resurrected again? And the Quran says, no, don't speculate about future. No, you can't. Because you cannot examine the future. You cannot put the future into lab and examine it within your own capacity. But what you can do is get whatever you are experiencing in the physical world, put it in the lab and study it. But study it what? How? Not why. You cannot study why in the lab. This is human reasoning, but this human reasoning is abstract, doesn't need a physical evidence. Do you understand the difference? This is very important. You hearing, who didn't hear that in the teachings of the Quran, why question is not important at all? Have you ever heard? Have you? I haven't. But Quran keeps saying how. Those who are familiar with the original language of the Quran, Quranic language is kaifa. Yeah? Not limada. Kaifa. It means how, not why. And Quran says how. Those people who defend the idea of the Quran, they say religious sources, sacred sources, answer the question why. Quran doesn't say that. How do you speak on behalf of Quran, which Quran itself doesn't claim? But you don't hear it. Who heard that science explains how? Religious sources explains why? Questions. Have you ever heard any of this? You did. What? Who else? You did. What other? You did. Anyone? Yeah, you did. Did you hear this? Here, people speaking like this. Quran explains. No, the science explains. How? Religious sources explain why. Because science, they say, because science cannot answer the question why. Because they cannot put the answer, the question why, and examine it in the lab. And the scientists say, yes, that's correct. I'm not interested in anything that I cannot examine it in the lab. That's human. And they feel that they are right in the interpretation of the events that they are studying. How? They understand the answer to how in the lab. It's a very fine point. It's a very important methodology. It's very important. When you read the Quran, you have to read the Quran in order to get a guidance how to examine the question how. It is methodologically essential and not very widely understood and spoken about. We have to wake up. Okay. Now, this is Wa. We studied Wa, that one letter. Yep. Okay. Now let's come to, that was a letter, that wasn't a word. That wasn't the word, just one letter, Wa and Al-Asr. Now, they say that Asr, I mean, everybody knows, everybody who speaks Arabic or maybe studied a little bit at a very preliminary stage, Asr means squeeze something. Yeah. And get the juice out of it. Right? That's why the time, we call it afternoon prayer time, is Asr prayer time, because the day is going away. Yeah? Human beings said, oh, we don't have much time. We don't have much time. Excused. Yeah, okay. That is what this time, afternoon prayer time, is called Asr. That's what literally it means. Another approach, Asr means or includes in it that the time is passing. It's that flight of time here in the translation, the fleeting time or flight of time. It is more appropriate for us. Actually, time is extremely excused. Why? In reality, time is extremely excused. Why? For us, very narrow. Because the reality of the existence of the world that we can experience is very temporary. You cannot catch it. As soon as you touch it, it slips away from your hand. Yeah? So both meanings really confirm each other. Yeah, very skewed time period, and also fleeting that you cannot catch it. What is the importance of it? Let's make it simple. what does time mean for you? Time represents what? Time.
Multiple moments.
Sorry?
Multiple moments.
So what? I mean, what is the significance of it? Time, what do you, but I can, just to make the subject clearer, I'm not criticizing or saying you are wrong. So multiple, you said moments. What is moment? What is moment?
Existence, for me at least.
But you can make it clear. Maybe this gentleman got the right answer actually.
New creation.
Sorry?
A new creation. So it's a succession of the active.
So the creation or act of creation, that the significance of the word act is important. We will talk about it. The creation, the act of creation that is taking in front of your eyes that you experience. That creation is an act which never stable, is always moving. Now, that is time. Represents what? What you are experiencing in this world. What we are experiencing in this world, by its own reality, own nature, demonstrates that nothing in this world has the capacity to remain in existence by itself. To remain in existence by itself. I exist, but my existence is continuously fleeting. As soon as I say, let's make a big number. Not I am 70 years old. Forget that, it's too big. Multiplied by 360, approximately, of course, sometimes one day difference, doesn't matter. By 70, you get a bigger number. It is also tells you how old you are in terms of days. It is also too big. Make the same thing by minutes or hours, multiplied by 12. The number multiplied by 60 minutes, multiplied by another 60 seconds. Yeah, multiplied by million, yeah, 1 million, you get what? Nanosecond, right? Now, this is small enough for us to experience nanosecond existence, right? You cannot keep it, but it is not an stable existence even within a nanosecond. It is fleeting. So for human capacity, we cannot find a word to describe the time limitation, time in terms of existence. We can only talk about the act of creation, because nothing has a stable being, a stable existence that you can say nanosecond. If you like, now the technology gives you the opportunity to calculate, multiply it by a nanosecond. You found a nanosecond, 1 nanosecond, 0.00000 thousands of zero, and then say 1 moment multiplied by 1 billion. Which, who, that's small, so small. Which physicist, experts can claim that, yes, we can hold it? No. You cannot hold it. But what we are experiencing, some people go to the very extreme, saying that what we are experiencing has no reality. Yes, it's a reality, but its reality is a fleeting reality. Fleeting, you cannot keep it. But what you are experiencing, in fact, not the substantial existence, but in fact, the act of substantial creation. The act of substantial creation. Do you understand? These are the fine points. But we have to understand this. So the universe itself witnesses that utter fleeting time, not giving an opportunity for a human being to grasp it, proves that I am nothing but an act, an action. But this action is performed by something must be infinite, because if it was finite, its action must be measured. None of the physicists can measure the time of existence for anything for a moment. So because of this reality, they developed another era of interpreting the existence of the universe from mechanical physics to relativity of the physical world to quantum physics. And they say, you ask them, what is it? What is a quantum? They say something, it's very interesting, something which appears, and in its appearance, it disappears. It disappears. Do you understand? In its appearance, it disappears. So you cannot catch it. You have to fix one side. Let's say, assume that since I am experiencing the same thing, since I am experiencing the same thing, although I cannot catch it, but say, time is fixed, but taken for granted. They're not real. Taken for granted. Now, this exists here, let me take it. Or space exists, so make a time is any figure, very minute figure. And let's assume that not reality. This thing existed stable in trillion, quadrillion, whatever you call it, 10 power to 1,000 times smaller time limit that you can imagine. Doesn't matter. You say 1,000, what you say, you know what it means. I'm not a mathematician, but very simple thing. 10.2 minus 1 billion. Yeah, what does it mean? 0.1 billion, 0, and at the end 1. But in reality, none of the physicists can make sure that it caught, or that he or she caught an event, a creation existed 0.1 billion zeros and 1. That's what I experienced, the existence. Cannot say it. So mysterious. The creation after so mysterious. So mystery means really you cannot attribute the existence of anything to itself. Why? Because even put 0.1 billion 0 and 1 at that, you cannot put 1. What do you have to do? All zeros? The universe doesn't exist. Some people said that. So it means the universe doesn't exist. No, it exists in the form of act. So everything witnesses to the truthfulness of the actor. Understand? Actor. Time points to the reality of the actor. That act is here, but I cannot give existence to anything that it is. It exists by itself, 0.1 billion one moment. No, you can't. But at the same time, universe exists. So ridiculous, isn't it? So miraculous, the creation, that God, the creator, whoever created the universe, never gives any mind of a person the possibility that the existence, this universe, in even one atom, particle, whatever, or the whole universe, doesn't matter, can sustain its existence for a fragment, very small fragment of a time. No. You see the miraculousness in this type of creation? Demonstrates what? Necessity of the actors being infinite. Obvious. No one can challenge this for human reasoning. But if they don't use their human reasoning, what do? They say, it happened to be like this. How? You cannot explain the existence by itself. They say, but it is eternal. Whatever it is, even you say eternal, still you cannot explain the existence by itself, eternal or not. It's not the point whether it's eternal or not. The point is how the universe comes into existence. Even you cannot catch it for a moment, at a fraction of a moment. The smallest fraction of a moment that not you, your mind doesn't think that capacity. You made a machine, let's say it calculates and shows you the 10 to minus 1 billion, still it cannot grasp it. So the creation is so miraculous. So it's obvious that the nature of this nature that today we talk, asr nature of the universe that the Quran uses, is an obvious proof that the source of the action that we observe, we experience in the universe, is a solid proof that the actor must be infinite. Actor must be infinite. If you understand this, no worry about the rest of your reasoning. You understand this, that's enough. Well, asr, that's enough for you. Don't bother about rest. Because the other, if the actor is the creator, the act of creation, creator. If the source of existence of this universe is absolute, so what? We belong to the absolute. I belong to the absolute. What do you want? Whatever I desire in my existence is from him, guaranteed by him. Because he created it. I'm using the atheistic terminology here. He created the wishful think of the existence of a God. Yeah, he created it. It must be so. Do you understand? Because I didn't get it from my particles. Although it's a very great, they call it this, he's the founder of the psychology or something, the stupid man. In his reasoning, maybe his research is wonderful, but reasoning is idiotic, really pagan reasoning. They are pagan reason. Their reasoning is pagan, really pagan, no reason at all. Just imitation of a stupid train of thought. So these pagan people, maybe the founder of psychology, doesn't matter, the pagan, in his reasoning, simple-minded man. We must feel sure that, hey, my existence, whatever I wish, I'm saying not really, I wish it is with me, is guaranteed, must be guaranteed that this wish will be really realized by the one who gave, or who is this is a very important terminology. We keep using this terminology. Yeah? You have to memorize this. Who is the source of existence of this wish? Even it's a wish. But there's a strong desire, not wish. People are frightened that they will be struck by an accident or something, that they will die. They don't want. Which kind of wish? Wishful thinking. So you are living with it. If he says wishful thinking, you take the gun, the rifle, and try to show that I'm going to kill you. He says, I don't want to die. That's a wishful thinking, man. Let me kill you. Stupid. Simple-mindedness. I don't know. I call them pagans in their reasoning. Simple-minded. And pagan doesn't know anything, just a wild animal. Yeah, you're right now.
I just had a question. Earlier you said something, you said if the actor is finite, then we will be able to catch.
If the actor was not was finite, yeah.
Honestly, I don't remember exactly what you said, but you said.
No, it doesn't matter. What I said is not important, maybe wrong. We can just give up the idea. I don't mind. Yeah.
I'm trying to understand this connection that you're making between the actor being finite or infinite.
Yeah.
And the act of creation being, I guess.
You cannot really fix.
Or catch. I don't know what catching it means.
But it means, this is, no, it's very simple. But look, it's very simple. If you catch a thing which has a solid existence for a very small moment, yeah, solid existence, it means it can sustain its existence for a small while. It says by itself, there's no such thing. There is no such thing. Well, Asr, there is no such thing. Witnessing, Asr, go and study what you say time is. Study. You will understand that time shows to you, because we have the concept of time and trying to apply it to space. And we find that you cannot determine anything within the space that we are experiencing in terms of time. Don't you understand? Yeah. So it means if the act is infinite, you cannot keep it in one moment. Look.
The act or the act?
No. Act is infinitely demonstrated, continued, infinitely continued. By reasoning, logical, necessary conclusion is actor must be infinite. Otherwise, if the actor is finite, if the actor was finite, the act also must be finite, even for a small fraction of time. Doesn't matter.
Right, but what does it mean that
Sorry?
the act, how is the act infinite?
Because you cannot have a fixed time that act here, and you can catch it, the act itself. You can catch it. It means it is stable in its existence. That's why people find it so difficult to understand the quantum mechanics. I find it very difficult, but I can.
Me too. That's why
I am very confident the essence of the. That's why they keep the language. They find it difficult to explain. So if you look at time, you cannot really fix the space. If you look at space, get the space fixed, then you cannot really see time at all. It means infinite. Act is infinite. But they are trying to find out, of course, those people who are sincerely understand what the quantum theory presents to, they cannot say that I caught time or I caught space. No, because they may be aware or not, I don't know, their minds, the philosophers, those philosophers, they are closer to the truth, by the way, as far as I understand. That's why they call it, there is nothing stable. Exists, no, doesn't exist. Exists, doesn't exist. If you say this exists, but in the very minute particle level of study, as soon as you say this, it disappears and changes and replaces it in another act. What does it mean? Action is continuous with no limit. Action is continuous with no limit means the actor must be infinite, acting continually, infinitely, manifesting his infinite power. That's why we don't not and said, oh, he's infinite there. I haven't seen him. But I am sure such a being must of necessity exist.
So the action is continuous, but not the creation itself.
No. Act of creation, because act means bringing things into existence. We see that the things are coming into existence, and we are examining how they come into existence. We understand that there is no fixed existence, but what we see only the acting of the act. Manifestation of the act. That's why some people, the Muslims, they are called Sufis. Some people say, when you look at the universe, you see nothing but the manifestations of the, but they don't say this language, they say manifestations of God. I don't use this terminology. We say, or I say personally, that's how I understand. We don't see anything but the manifestation of an absolute actor, being who is manifesting his absolute qualities and presenting himself to the conscious human beings. Here I am. But we see the universe, but some people say, if you really educate yourself, concentrate on how to think about the universe. What is this? What is this? What is this? You end up saying that I am seeing nothing but manifestations of the Creator, its qualities, which are infinite. Because everything is whatever you say, physically speaking. Be careful. Be careful. Physically speaking. This is Qasim. I saw Qasim, and when I say I saw Qasim, that Qasim I saw goes. You see, act is eternal. And what we see is acts, but in the form of physical existence. It doesn't mean that physical existence, in our practical life, we deal with physical existence. In our practical life. But the Quran says, well, Asr, yeah, if you look at time, if you try to catch time, understand, when you use time, yesterday, last century, we always call, next century, we are always talking in terms of time. Hey, if you really be careful about what you are talking about my absoluteness. Well, Asr, we are talking about my absoluteness. Because what you call time is what you experience in the world. Yeah. Today we say today. Today means what existed today. Yeah, from the beginning to the end, everything changed, right? Is there anything fixed in the time without moving? Moving means creation is renewed, yet in another form, continuously. Yeah, you know the very famous verse. Yeah, you know which one? Come on, yet renewing or new action. You are. He is the creator. Is always a new action. No, no, no.
I'm not sure which one.
Is it in action? كل يوم هو في شأن. كل يوم هو في شأن. Because Quran speaks to human beings with our not physicists or scientists, but what I am experiencing today. Yeah, or an hour, not necessarily the yawm means day, asr or minute or century. Everything. Yawm represents what? Time, like asr. The word asr here represents time. It means kulle yawmin. You understand? In every moment.
Can you give an example?
In every, yeah, you can, of course. In every moment, you observe nothing but my, yeah, sha'in. Sha'in means, what is, for example, the shine of the sun is what? Light, heat, yeah, shade. What makes the sun? It is qualities. So you see that nothing but my qualities. شأن. My qualities. كل يوم هو في شأن. It means في شأن. Sorry. كل يوم هو في شأن. I am every moment yet another manifestation of my qualities. That's how the verse means. He's acting. My act is every moment. What is the moment? According to you, ordinary people understand time means day. And yawm, you can understand yawm as day. Now you go ahead. Do you understand everything? It is a little bit, it may be not within your familiar interest, but we have to understand, how do you conclude that God is infinite? Well, Asr is enough.
It's like I'm looking at you right now, but every millisecond, I'm looking, every fraction of a second, I'm actually looking at something different. Because
Every section.
because all of your atoms and all of everything that's in you is actually continuous change. Right?
Yeah, because you cannot fix time. It means, fine. It means the things that we are experiencing are finite. It doesn't mean that they don't exist. Don't exist. But they are finite, pointing to,
Finite or infinite?
sorry,
Finite or infinite?
finite. The things
Yeah.
are finite, continuously fleeting. It is a very simple evidence showing what?
The necessity of a sustainer
Sustainer who is
sustaining the existence.
existence, the act of existence, whose by definition must be absolute infinite. Yeah, so simple. So I look at the world, I say the creator of this world must be infinite. So simple. Do you have to see him? No. Yes.
All right, so I guess I'm able to understand almost everything except the last part where you're concluding with that the creator must be infinite. And I just want to walk you through, I guess, what I understand so far. So let's just take this pencil as an example. It exists in a moment at this very instance, right? And then yet there's another moment of its existence. Clearly, the pencil does not sustain itself.
Yeah, that's why it is, because it cannot hold on
Right,
to its own existence,
right.
so that it doesn't exist by itself.
It,
Yes.
it depends on a sustainer to constantly recreate or sustain its existence,
Yes.
right? As far as as a human being, my perception or my investigation or considering is concerned,
Hmm.
in my lifetime,
Mhm.
the only thing that I can experience is essentially the fleeting of time. Is
It means
nothing sustaining its own existence, but yet the existence being sustained of the
it
thing.
means the pointing to the necessity of the existence of an infinite source of existence.
So definitely pointing to the necessity of a source which is sustaining its existence. How do you conclude that that source must be infinite
Yeah.
when my perception itself
No.
will end at some point?
I understood, but I thought we talked about it, but I think it wasn't clear enough, and we have to. I said to myself, today, if we study the one-word sentence, well, Asr, will be great. It is worth it, but it seems to be it's going to extend more than the time limit of the class. Now, how are we? The question is, make your question clear now, so that we will.
The question is straightforward, which is yes, I can observe that nothing can sustain its existence itself, yet
Not at all.
not at all.
No, we cannot. At moment, no, we
Right.
cannot. That's what,
At
as
all.
far as we see it.
In the entire.
But we know that it exists, and
Yes.
we experience it.
Yes.
So I hold something. We use your pencil again. It doesn't exist. Its existence cannot sustain itself in a fraction of a second.
Mhm.
Yeah, without not million, the fraction of a nanosecond. Yeah, fraction of a nanosecond, fraction of it. Yeah, it proves something else, but it doesn't mean that I cannot hold a pencil. But what I am holding continuously given existence in the form of a pencil. It means I am holding the manifestation of the absolute qualities of its sustainer. If the qualities were not absolute, then its existence must not be continuously fleeting. It must have, for example, according to my power, my power, when I was 20 years old, I could lift, let's say, 100 pounds. Right?
Right.
So I'm getting old. I'm really old, but I can only lift now 10 pounds. I can lift 10 pounds now. I don't know tomorrow, but today I can, I think, 10 pounds. Okay. What happened to 100 pounds? Now, the reality of 100 pounds is there, reality of 10 pounds is there, but as far as the lifting action is concerned,
There.
it is according to my capacity of power. So action is an indicator to the capacity of the actor. Understand this?
Yes.
Did you?
Yes. So
So it's the answer.
no, but not the absoluteness. Like I get the sustainership of the sustainer. So
Yeah.
right. So yes, this pencil is existing moment by moment,
Yeah.
and yes, it's being sustained, right? But how are you like how am I saying that it's absolutely going to be sustained forever?
No,
when-
no. I didn't say absolutely going to be sustained forever. It is an indicator to the absoluteness of the qualities of the actor.
Can I not say that it is
Or
an
that's something to do
indicator?
with the actor.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'll
Whoever,
say,
whatever it is. That's why we call this actor not God.
yeah,
We call it the source of existence must be absolute. So this source of existence must be absolute. In the language of the Quran is called God,
sure,
Allah in the Arabic language.
sure.
In English language, God. It's so simple.
Again, I'm not debating which word to use for the absoluteness or the infiniteness, but I'm debating how do I conclude that it must be absolute. Yes, it's being sustained, and the pencil
No.
itself doesn't need to be sustained forever.
If you cannot limit my practice of lifting to 1 pound, to billion pound, to trillion pound, to trillion times trillion pounds, you cannot put a limit. It means my power of lifting has no limit.
Sure, but how are we not putting a limit?
Is it clear?
Yeah, because in a single moment, you can break that moment.
Oh no, I get it.
You can break
Yeah,
I
yeah,
totally
that's
get
it.
that.
It means the actor,
But we're still playing in numbers. That's what I'm saying.
Sorry?
You can break a moment into trillion, gazillion
but
moments.
still it doesn't work. So it means you cannot put a number in order to explain that a thing existed by itself, on itself, but without the actor, without the act, by itself, any number will not work. It means the actor cannot be described with a number. The action cannot be described within
I get
a
that.
number as well.
Nobody said that it cannot be described by a number.
Which one?
We just don't know what the number is.
No.
Quantum mechanics
No.
is-
So,
is
yeah.
based on
Okay,
quantum,
okay.
which is that the universe is not being divisible. There's a smaller part that you cannot go beyond which. It's just that
No,
I'm
but
reading about it. So
you understand logically that we cannot put a number in order to explain the duration of the existence of anything. But human capacity, in order to interact with the physical world as it exists, they have to put a number. But human logic says this number is nothing but only an approximation. That's why in statistics, all the numbers you see about the possibility of the existence of this universe is 10 to minus 164, I think. They say. Why they can say it? Why they can say it? Why not 0.164 means 10 to power 164. It means 0.1640 Now, the Quran says, well, Asr. The Quran says, no, you cannot say whatever the number you put, even you want 164, 0, and then 1, you cannot put 1 within your own capacity. This is what your calculation, which is made on approximation. Because the physicists know that you cannot catch anything fixed there. I got it, but it is, but the duration is 0.1640001 second. Yeah. Still, it is just an approximation, cannot be real, because we are experiencing a manifestation of a power which cannot be limited. This example, for example, my power is limited, I was once upon a time in the last century,
Millennium.
last millennium, I was able to lift 100 pounds of weight. Now, 10. Now, 10. It means my power of lifting is limited between 100 and 10, and at the end maybe 0, but between numbers. If I was, example for reasoning, if I was able to lift any weight which is not describable with a number, what does it show you? My power is what? Infinite. So obvious. So what we have to do here, in order to conclude or in order to understand that God is such, God is such, God is such, no. Look at the universe. The very way that the universe comes into existence is not only saying, it's exclaiming, crying that my source of existence must be absolute. Yeah? But that needs some sort of knowledge, what the scientists find it, but we don't need that. We don't need that. What we need, yes, we are holding the physical, because we are, how do you say, lay people. Yeah. And also those people who said, I'm an expert on physics, they are expert on physics in their time. Next century, we don't know. They will be just a simple man. Right? Yeah, but doesn't matter. We are not trusting our argument on the present day findings of physicists. No. This is expressed by the physicists now to a very simple, very small amount of time. What's that? We are getting closer to the end. Now, the very small amount of time representing that the possibility, which is statistics, of this universe coming into existence by accident. They say this accident is very, very, very small fraction of some fraction of possibility. But have you heard this? Have you read this? But it is a possibility. How small is it? But the universe existence, the nature of existence, this proves it. Why? There is no such thing that you can fix existence of anything for a fraction of a nanosecond. It means infinite. So we understand about the qualities of the Creator only as we understand about the nature of this existence. It's a very illiterate man who lived in the village, never got out of his village. Yeah, got out of his village. Only living in this village, maybe a farmer, most probably a farmer or animal breeder, yeah, animal farming, or whatever, plant farming, whatever they do. If you ask him within his capacity, him or her, within his capacity, say, can you keep the day? Yeah, for example, yesterday, where is it? Gone. It means they could not sustain its existence. It doesn't have to go into nanoseconds. A day is enough. Even you may not notice that much. Can you fix the lifespan of your father? Gone. Died. Gone. So nothing, no one can ever say that I can fix one moment and keep it in my hand and bring it back. Impossible. That's why fleeting. Nothing can be rescued from passing away. Got it? Understand? You cannot keep, you cannot rescue, you cannot bring back 1 second before. 1 nanosecond before, can you bring back? Nanosecond. Can you? Can anyone? Do you understand this? Do you get it? For example, not a second. Second is too long as compared to the fineness in the manifestation of the qualities. Second is like our millennium. No, more than millennium. More than millennium. Too long time period. Yep. So you cannot keep it back. Keep it. No. It means anything you touch is runs away from you, leaves you alone. Anything you touch, a new one comes. That's what's with the illusion that we have. The existence is fixed, because anytime a new act of existence is manifesting itself, so you can hold, because something passes, but something comes into existence anew. That's why we are able to hold it. So miraculous way of creation. You know that at the 60, when you look at the screen, you think that it is fixed. Huh? But if you ask the expert, what will say? Every second, the screen changes 60 times in a second. 60 times a second. That's why it looks like fixed. It's not. It's not. Can't be. You cannot fix anything. Everything slips away from your hand. That's what the Quran describes. It says it looks like an what's the word? Illusion? Not illusion. What? There must be a word for it. When you are in a desert or something. Mirage. But we can't say that physically we deny the existence of the things, because we cannot put it in time. No. We cannot put it in time. That is the beauty of the creation that amazes me. You cannot put the existence within a time frame. How small is it? You cannot. But at the same time, you are physically experiencing the existence. It is not mirage only. Some people, unfortunately, although they are great people, but they claim this. Some Sufi leaders, masters, were real masters, not today's Sufis. I don't know what they are doing, but real masters. They say the universe is mirage only. When I'm experiencing physically, it goes against my practical experience of the world. So you cannot speak this way, because, yes, if you want to keep it, you cannot keep it, because its nature by itself is mirage, by itself. But as the act of creation, it's not mirage, it's real. I'm experiencing it. So we should not go from this understanding, they call it unity of existence, wahdatul wujud. But one extreme is this. Now, nothing exists by God but God. No, but nothing exists by itself. But God, the creator, but nothing exists by itself. But what we are experiencing here, the manifestation of the act of the Creator's qualities. Yeah. Another extreme is matter exists by itself. Two extremes. Quran says, look at time. Time dimension of existence. Well, asr. Time dimension of existence. Do you see the difference? But space dimension of existence, we are holding it as far as we are concerned. We are holding what? Continuous manifestation of the absolute qualities of it, of the actor. I'm holding. Yeah, I'm holding the pencil. What is that? Continuous manifestations of the absolute qualities of the actor acting in creation. I'm not holding the pencil. I am holding the witness, the fig, the olive, the sun, the moon, there are many of them. There are many of them. Even the insan itself, himself, is a witness to the absoluteness of its creator. One olive is much more than enough of a witness to demonstrate that its creator must be absolute, self-existing, self-sustaining. Definitely. The universe shows it. Not because I believe in the Quran. No. Universe shows it. My physical experience shows me that. Just use your brain. Don't condition yourself. You understand? Did you get it at all? Work on it. Work on it. Really. It is very important for us, first of all, to have a right methodology in understanding the speech of the Creator. We must free our minds first from any presumptions, any bias, whether denial or confirm. It means the Quran is a nonsense? No. Quran is the word of God. I know it because we are Muslims. No. Both of them are equally wrong. Have a free mind. Look at the world you are living in. You definitely come up or conclude freely this universe must have an absolute of existence, who is called in the language of the Quran, Allah or God, interest of God. Yeah, we speak English, that's what we say, God. The Quran says Allah in Arabic. Yep. So, well, Asr, Quran says Asr, I say fleeting time or flight of time. Same. Quran says wa el Asr. So I say consider in English, consider. Take notice of. Think about it. Reflect on time. What do you mean by time? We will study the source of the, let me give you the, this 45 Jathia, isn't it? Does anyone know? The chapter Jathia is 45, I think. Sorry? It doesn't matter, but chapter 45.
Do you want to show it on the screen?
I thought I showed it because it is in front of me. So stupid I.
Yeah.
Here it is. But by reading the translation or not discussing what really is, what it really means, but I'm telling you what we are going to cover, inshallah, not next week. The week after. There's a reason for it. And also, I don't know, number of people are there watching. Now,
No.
sorry? Next week is the Eve Thanksgiving Eve, the building closes at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Sorry? Yeah. So next week we will we won't have place open, so we won't be able to enter the building and have the class. So following week we are going to study this verse, and for what purpose now? We study Wal Asr in order to understand the absoluteness of the qualities of the Creator. We will study this verse, which is not the same word is used than Asr, but the word there used is Dahr, as Dahr. So again, it's an indication what is the word used in order to express time, as we call it in English. Yeah. So it is the following verse will give us a clue how we understand that atheistic ideology comes from. Where? Which kind of misconceptions? Why it is a misconception of time? Why? So this claim is as old as the time, maybe earlier than the revelation, the time of the revelation of the Quran, which is for now 1400 years ago. It means 1450 years ago. Now, there were people saying this, and still this pagan scientists claim the same. It was their mind as a human being developed, I don't know, the same mentality, pagan mentality. We will understand why. I'm not using this word in order to insult them. Really, their ideology is pagan ideology, pagan understanding. No, I don't understand how a human being can come to the conclusion who understands how the creation is so wonderful, miraculous. Still insists that it happened by itself, it is eternal. Cannot keep itself for a moment, became in the hands or minds of those pagan people, pagan scientists, heroes of science, infinite. Infinite impossibility turned into absolute possibility. Not possibility, absoluteness. How? How this kind of logical trick is going on there? And they are cheating millions, maybe billions of people's minds. Cheating them by just playing with the words. Inshallah, it's a serious subject. Inshallah, we will cover it next week. Inshallah, today we are done. Inshallah, today we are done. Well, Asr, but the counter argument is on the following verse not the following verse, the other verse that I just showed it. This one here on the screen. Okay? Bismillah ar-Rahman. So, not next week, but the following week, inshallah, at 7 o'clock again. Inshallah, if God wills, if the Creator's act allows us to exist in this world, then we will do it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة السر